Okay, good morning again. We're going to try again. I get a little distortion in my hearing aids. They're connected with Bluetooth, and the phone is connected through the wire, which is like, man, I wish I'd have had this when I first got the headset. Really does help. So I got a little gun review for you. Can you guess what's in the box? Okay. This is a pride and joy kind of a moment, but it's kind of sweet and sour. It's sweet in that it's beautiful, and I finally got one. Actually, I found 15 of them for sale, and me and my buddies bought up a whopping 5 of them. And everybody seemed to be getting it for a little bit cheaper than I got it for, and I'm the one that set it all up. But I had to pay a few more dollars for shipping. And so this thing comes in this sock. It's a nice sock, but it's going to rip out where the sight's at. So I don't bother to put it back in there. I don't think that I'm going to be owning this much longer, to be frank with you, because I mean it's not too much for me to shoot. It's too much for me to hold out at the end of my arms and line the sights up. So this is the famous gun that shoots a 50 caliber bullet, and they originally made the Desert Eagle in a 51 caliber. I guess it was the lands were the problem. They didn't measure right, and of course, federal law, which is illegal and unconstitutional as hell, limits you to a 50 caliber center fire. That's all you can own or possess and all that. It's a bunch of bullshit. And I would love to see one of these in 51 caliber, because as it stands, it shoots a 350 grain bullet. But if it was a tenth of an inch larger, I would imagine we'd be breaking 400 grains, which is just massive for a bullet. And this has got ported barrel. It's got a nice rail at the top. This is the big one. This is not the little baby one. This is the full Desert Eagle that's all steel, and it's got a rail on the bottom. And you will notice that it doesn't have a black strip along the bottom. The others are lightweight. This is heavyweight. And I might get myself a lightweight one, but when I put it at the end of my arms, I can line them up okay. I've been exercising a bit. But this is a hand cannon. This is an artillery piece. Now, one thing about these is that the sights on them are chunky and black, nice flat black, and you might like that. But they also offer a fiber optic set of sights, which I always intended to go by the factory and say, would you mind putting them on for me? Because if they don't put them on, then you don't get the warranty. But this has got the warranty. And I see that my safety was off. Now it's got an ambidextrous safety. Heck of a beaver tail. I mean, you are not going to get bit by this thing. That's what's kind of crazy, is that as big as it is, and my buddy put some real fancy grips on his, but they were a little thinner and harder. And I just don't like them. I like these original rubber grips because, I mean, this is a hell of a gun to point out there, to hand out there. But it's probably time for me to part with it. They only come with one magazine. The original ones came with two magazines. So you got to buy yourself a spare magazine. And don't ask me how many it holds. I think it holds 7 rounds. I'm not sure about that. But it's made very well. I mean, this thing was made in America, made in the USA, and the originals were made in Israel. The original has a better trigger than this does. It's much better made, but they didn't. I don't think they made them in 50, and I don't think they made them in stainless steel, and I don't think that they were ported barrels as well. So this is quite a gun. 50 caliber, and of course that's a famous profile right there, So I'll tell you that this was new, brand new, and it's in the box basically. And I've never fired this one, but I fired my buddies. I gave him some 350 grain bullets, and I'll be damned. He got them loaded up, and he started hot and gradually worked down, and he got to a good load. It was extremely accurate, and he gave me 5 rounds of it, and I went into Ted's range, an indoor range. So my buddy was kind of setting me up, and I got in there, and I touched one of them off, and it was so loud. I mean, it was so loud, it was like your hearing was gone. It was like a giant thud, and it's like it negated this. It was in a big tub, indoor range. So this is quite a handgun. It really is. And if you're going to be in the zombie apocalypse and you want to put something on your nightstand that you know is going to knock somebody on their ass, this is a nice gun for that. But as far as being practical, I don't know. I suppose a bigger guy could wield these quite well. But, I mean, look at my hand. It's not a big hand, but it fits pretty good. So I can't complain about it. But it's time for me to pass this on to somebody else. And no, I'm not selling it here. It's actually pretty much spoken for. And I owe this fellow quite a bit. And this is worth quite a bit. So this is going to be part of what he gets. And I really appreciate the fine work he's done for me on my rig. But it's a wonderful, wonderful hand cannon. Stainless steel, all iron. The others are a little cheaper, but they don't have as much steel, and they're much lighter. And believe me, when you touch one off, you want all that weight because it soaks up that tremendous energy. But also, this has 2 gas ports in it. 2 gas ports in it. Okay, let's look inside of it. Now take a look at that right there. Does that remind you of anything? That's a rotary bolt. Same thing that's in your AR-15s. Same gas operation. There's 2 ports in it, and there's massive springs, and that action goes all the way back when you pull the trigger and she discharges. And the crazy thing is, it does not slap you. It does not hurt your hand. I can fire this. But believe me, it's a rock and roll time. It's loud, and probably about 8 feet off the end of the barrel, there's a giant fireball, at least 18 inches, size of a basketball, for about 400 milliseconds. And that'll light up your life, believe me. My buddy took his outside and fired it off in the dark, and it blinded him for a bit. And he finally got the mixture right on it. So I really, really enjoyed shooting it. So, well, I'm not going to let it slam. Oh, I hate to admit this. It takes quite a bit to cock the son of a gun and quite a bit to operate it. So I'm going to... Oh, and look at the inside of that barrel. You can see all the notches and all of that. It's just an incredible, incredible, incredible gun. Just so well made. It's American made. And these are fine instruments. They really are. So it's nice to have gotten the king of the handguns. And anybody can shoot one of these. It just goes so real nice. It's not slow, but not wicked fast, and it doesn't push back in your hands. It wants to rock up, and it's pretty easy. And the brass goes pretty much straight back. And you need to have a good grip on this thing, because if you don't, it could come back and hit you right in the face. So, may Yahweh bless. That's just as simple as it's going to be for my Desert Eagle 50 caliber 50 Action Express review. Heck of a gun. Beautiful. I mean, and so well made. made right here in the USA in Minnesota. And I would suggest if you get one of these, you get the fiber optic sight so you can line it up. The cartridge is extremely accurate, but that shake and bake at the end of my arms, which isn't as bad as it once was, that just makes it kind of hard for me to really shoot it accurately. Yeah, it's just a little too much for me. It's probably, I think it's 4.5 pounds of gun at the end of your arm. This is loaded up, maybe 5 pounds, but it's probably about 8 ounces too heavy for me to hold out there. The 44 Magnum is a lot lighter than this, and one can hold that much more steady. Talk at you later. That's Dr. Kent's review of the 50 Action Express stainless steel ported Desert Eagle.